bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate the world, peaches ripe.
Oh, hello?
Here.
Can I hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. My quick question was, because honestly, I've been watching for a little while, and I kind of like how you talk to people. You're very, very calm. I've talked to other people before that just yell and scream, don't listen to other people's sides, and like I can see that you're very open. I actually one question I had was kind of answered. You were kind of for the for men to be able to withdraw from child support because it's like if they don't want a chance to do that kind of thing, because if women want abortions, you know what I mean, if they have the free will to do that, then a guy can be able to withdraw from child support, so to say. So you kind of answered that first question. Am I correct? I don't want to go on if I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong on that, did you say that?
Yeah, I think you should definitely voice that concern early on. If it affects her choice whether to carry to term or not.
Okay.
So yeah.
So the only thing I really have questions on is this. So I'm gonna make a statement first before my question. So okay, in science and everything, because you talked about like how you're kind of like for science and facts and stuff. In science or in just biology in general, when we go to school, we're taught that we have 10 fingers and 10 toes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's things out there. There's people out there that have one finger. They might be born without legs. They might not be born without whatever. But as a spectrum, we all know that we are all born with 10 fingers and 10 toes. That's just how it is, right?
Okay.
Okay, so the reason why I go about this, and honestly, the girl that was just on here, I totally respect her. I feel bad for her that go through that thing. So don't get me wrong. I am the type of person, I am not attacking her just because it just happened. It's just this was my question before she even popped up. Was that so? When that happens, if you take a small spectrum of the rape or birth defects, stuff like that, could we take that whole spectrum and make it so large that we have to overrule the other reasons why abortion? Because a lot of people just go get abortion just because they had unsafe sex and that they don't want the baby, or they want proof to their guy they have dominance, so they're going to go abort their baby. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that such a small spectrum overweighs the other spectrums of like maybe other things like that? If that makes sense. That's my question. Like, kind of like, what do you feel about that?
No, I don't care why anyone wants an abortion.
What is it?
I do not care why anyone wants an abortion.
Okay, so you just think in general that abortion should just be totally just like legal and we should be able to pay for it and stuff, right?
Yes, I think there should be no government policy against it. It should be a decision between a woman and her partner, a pregnant person and her doctor, and that there should be federal funding for it, for sure.
Okay. Now, what do you think about this? Because you are about science and you are about these things. I've looked up some studies myself before I came on here. I saw from Princeton, Harvard, stuff like that.
Okay.
Life starts at conception.
What do you want to ask? Okay. Agree.
So life starts at conception through other what's it called? I just lost the word. Through other reports and other people's things like Harvard, Princeton. Yes. So if life starts at conception, do you think that having abortion is like considered to be murder, if that makes sense?
Well, no, because number one, murder is defined as unlawful and it is legal. Do I think it's killing? I think it does definitely result in the death depending on the stage of pregnancy. But life, to me, has more nuance than I feel that you're giving it.
Well, at the same time, though, I mean, you're allowed to go to an appointment at, like, let's say 8 weeks, and you can know the DNA, what gender it is, the hair color it's going to have. You mean you could figure out?
I 8 weeks.
feel like it's such a it's a
you
living
gender
being.
At 8 weeks unless you get DNA testing done.
Yeah,
but I don't know what value that has.
I know you can get blood work done because my wife is pregnant.
I don't know what value that, like, why you're attributing that to any kind of value.
Well, because it has value. It's something living that has its own rights. It has its own being. And even though it is in a woman, it does have its own life. Yes, it does. It's because it has a heartbeat. It
have its own rights.
Yeah, it does have rights. It should have rights. I mean, if you would think so. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, even though that isn't, it's defenseless. It can't do anything about it. So, like, the whole thing about... That's not what I
asked you. What kind of rights?
Rights in just like general, like we have human rights. It shouldn't be able to get murdered. It shouldn't have to. It has its own rights because, like, think about it. We all have rights. But how does it not have
Well,
rights though?
because it's not born.
But it's still a living thing.
So is an apple. So is an apple. I mean, if I go and pick an apple off a tree, is that immoral?
But that's totally different because
right, because
my dog is jumping on me, sorry. But no, it's just I think with something with that is a human life considered like with an apple or a tree, like it's totally different. It's a human life that's going to be born that has the purpose of this life. Like it's being born for a reason. Like it has maybe when they grow up they might be the next president. That it will have purpose. But you can't say that it doesn't have purpose from the beginning. So that's what you're saying, like right there. Like I'm saying maybe it does have purpose, but you're saying it doesn't. So we don't know. So instead of assuming,
I'm saying that I don't give moral consideration for a fetus prior to viability, because it's not even able to sustain its own bodily processes outside the womb.
Okay.
And to me, the term life has nuance. It has different shades.
Okay.
Just as you're not giving moral consideration to an apple being picked from a tree.
But an apple, I think, in a human life is completely two different things. Like your life is more than me going out there and destroying 50
apple trees. Right, but what gives human life value?
I think it values, I think that's whenever you get more into religion, and that's when you get more into people's what they think about human life.
Out of it, human life value. What makes us different from animals? What makes us different from apples?
I think what makes us different, for one, I see it's hard to not to bring religion into it, but I would say with humans, we have the ability, okay, for instance, over time and over periods of time, we have been able to make what we have today. The technology we have, the way that we build things, the way we create things, the way we make that. You know what I mean? Like, I think with human life, that
our brain that makes us different, that makes us act different. That would be either sentience, automaticity, consciousness. So there is a sense of personhood. And just because you are a fetus who is alive does not mean that you are a person. And so that's what I mean by the nuance of life. But yes, it is alive. You are correct, but it's not the same as being a person.
I see what you mean there. I think that's more. I think that right there is kind of the fine line between like how maybe you look at how important that life may be compared to maybe what I think that life may be. If that makes sense.
My argument is that no one has a right to life that supersedes someone else's bodily autonomy. So that's why I find abortion to be acceptable.
Okay, so how about
this? If we're going to talk on a morality sense, then that's where my argument goes to moral consideration.
Okay, how about this then? This is where I think maybe this next question, maybe you can answer this. And I
have to go right after.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
So besides, let's leave out the 1% or the low percentage of people that go through traumatizing things. Let's just leave that out there. Let's go look at the more thing.
Just ask your question. I don't need any pretext.
Okay, so the question is that with people having abortions just randomly, in a sense of unsafe sex. So, like, if people have unsafe sex and they have pregnancy, they're just like, oh, I want to get rid of this because I didn't feel like using a condom. Do you think that's wrong? Like, just because no. You didn't have unsafe sex?
No, I don't think people should be punished with pregnancy or with parenthood because they were reckless.
But we are warned that tobacco, let's go to this, we're warned that tobacco will give you cancer. We're warned that
but not smoking one cigarette.
But yeah, but it can happen after one cigarette. I've had family members that have dipped for maybe only a day.
It can't be attributed to one cigarette. It's the continued use of tobacco. Because there are people who get lung cancer who have never smoked. So I'm so sorry. I have to go. But thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend. I might go live later. I'm not sure.
I'm so fucking cute, bitch.